Hi everyone, this is Heather Lahtinen from the Flourish.Academy. This is episode 405, and I saw a question posted in the FA community group, and forgive me, I'm not sure who posted this, but they were asking about how you determine which images to deliver in color versus black and white to your clients. So let me share with you how this has evolved in my business over the years. So when I first started out and I wasn't sure why or what I should be doing with black and white versus color, I honestly did not have a system. If I thought a photo looked good in black and white, I just put it in black and white. And occasionally I would change an image to black and white to cover up some maybe errors on my part. Maybe the image didn't look real good in color, so I put it in black and white and felt that it looked better. This is when I was very, very new and I wasn't sure what I was doing. But then that kind of evolved over time, and I learned that traditionally, artists would turn things black and white in order to remove color so that that color did not distract you from the emotion of the image. So if you have a really high impact emotional photograph and you remove the color, you can feel the emotion more because the color is not there to distract you. Okay, but then I started to wonder, if I just turn a certain amount or just like a select few images to black and white and I deliver that to the client, what happens when they say, hey, I love this photo, but it's in black and white, I kind of wish it were in color? Then I would have to go back to the originals, and then I'm saving the raws. Do I really need to save the raws? Do I really want to open up that can of worms? Now, that really didn't happen very often, if at all, that I can remember, but I just thought, I don't think this is the best approach, meaning all of the photos are in color, but just a few that I like in black and white are in black and white. So then I started delivering all of the images in color and all of the images in black and white to my clients, but I would never tell them that I was doing that. It was kind of like a surprise, like, hey, your photos look so beautiful in color and black and white. I wanted you to have options. So that's what I do to this day. I think at this point, most of my clients know that that's what I do, but if I have some new ones, they wouldn't. They just get them all in color and all in black and white. But the next question is, how do you do that? Well, there are two methods that I teach, and I teach this in my Lightroom class and my Photoshop class, both of which are available online, so you should check it out. But in Lightroom, you can create a virtual collection. You would have a black and white preset that you love. We have a few at the Flourish.Academy, and you could just put those turn them all black and white using the preset, and then export them to a new folder and upload them or deliver them however you would like. So really easy, all done with batch processing, so it's very, very fast. Okay, I happen to have a black and white in Photoshop that I love. I have a black and white in Lightroom that I like, but this black and white in Photoshop, I love it. So what I did was I created an action for my black and white, and then I turned it into a droplet. And a droplet is nothing more than an automated action. So I have this droplet. I make a copy, a duplicate set of all of the color images just through Finder, Windows Explorer, you could do this. I take that entire folder and I drop it onto the droplet. Each image will open individually inside of Photoshop. It will turn black and white. It will flatten, save, close, and do the next. So I could do that on 500, 600, 700 images. Again, this is batch editing, so it's all done for me. So really, in my mind, if you want to deliver the images to your client in both color and black and white, there's really no barrier because you can do it via batch processing, whether you use Lightroom or Photoshop. I think the key here is getting a good black and white conversion, because in theory, if you wanted to do it, I use this term loosely, properly, you would convert each image a little bit differently based on what the image needed, based on the tonality, the luminosity, whatever was happening. But the black and whites I created work really well across all images. I just needed to do that in order to automate it. So the reason I like my Photoshop black and white over the Lightroom is because in Photoshop we work in RGB mode. That's red, green, and blue. And what I do is I convert from RGB into LAB mode. A lot of people will call that lab mode, but it's not. It's actually a lightness channel, A channel, and B channel. But the difference is this: when you're working in RGB mode, color and luminosity, lights and darks, are tied together. But when you work in LAB mode, your A and B channels contain all of the color information, and your L channel contains the luminosity or the light information. So when I do that in Photoshop, I can remove the color and keep it separate from the luminosity, which I think makes a more classic, cleaner conversion. Now, I have attempted to emulate this in Lightroom, and the black and white presets that we have on the Flourish Academy are really good. And if you don't use Photoshop, they are fantastic. This is just my personal preference. Now, when you're working in LAB mode in Photoshop, you have to go back to RGB mode because it's not suitable for anything else. So there's a transition that occurs there. I have that action available on the Flourish Academy site. I also have in the Lightroom course and or in the Photoshop course how you can learn to do these in batch edits. But if you're feeling a little froggy today, you could create these yourself. It's really not that difficult. In Lightroom, you just need a good preset. You could create a collection, a virtual collection of all of your images. You could change them to black and white and export a separate set, and then you'd have 2 sets of images. And again, in Photoshop, that's done using an action, which I've converted to a droplet. It's just an automated action so that I can drop an entire folder on the droplet, walk away, and Photoshop does it for me. So with this in mind, I think it's okay to deliver your images all in color and all in black and white to your clients if it fits your model. You can do whatever you want, but I'd love if you would leave a comment, and like, share, subscribe, all of those things. But let me know what your approach to color versus black and white is, what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it, and it also can help others. I'll see you in the next video.